See, that's part of the song. Great, welcome to Reina Speaks once again. It's another Thursday, it's 7 p.m. and it's time for your favorite show on Facebook Live, Reina Speaks. Welcome, my name is Reina and I'm glad to have you, and I'm so excited that you could join me yet another week. Forgive my voice, I have a little bit of a cold, but that's not going to stop us talking about what we need to talk about, to learn what we need to learn, to move how we need to move, and to become who we need to become. So welcome once again, Rita Oting. Welcome, I can see you, and I know that the rest will keep joining us as time goes on. Now, remember we've been talking about in-laws. Last week we talked about in-laws, and we talked about in-laws in generally, especially the grown-up ones, the parents. But there are times that we need to live with the in-laws, and so today we're going to be talking about living with in-laws. Sometimes it's a necessary thing you must do, and sometimes it is unnecessary. Sometimes you should live with your in-laws, and sometimes you should not live with your in-laws. Depending on what the situation is and how it is being handled, you decide whether you should live with them or you should not live with them. Hi Leslie, welcome. So today let's talk about living with in-laws and whether it's to do or not to do. Lady J, I hear. I hear, welcome. So let's talk about whether we should live with in-laws or we should not live with in-laws, depending on the situation. Remembering that all our situations are completely different. Welcome, Kinskid, I can see you. All our situations are completely different. Now, before I go ahead, you will not believe it. Today I entered the pharmacy to buy me a drug, and I saw walking Reina. I was so excited. Oh, there were people around, but I couldn't say, you know, walking Reina, the one who's been making a lot of comments and helping me to talk and saying all kinds of nice things. I saw him for the first time face to face today. It was good meeting you, walking Reina. Keep watching and keep encouraging. Thank you so much. Akosia Chastina, welcome. Welcome. So let's go right ahead. Now, my first thing I wrote for the introduction is that in-laws will have to live with us for one reason or the other. Sometimes situations come up where you must live with your in-laws through no fault of theirs and through no asking of yours, but then it becomes necessary for them to live with us. Now remember that some of them may not want to come and live with you, but because of the circumstances, they do not have a choice and they have to come. However, whatever reason it is that in-laws need to come over, let's go through these points and see if they have been fulfilled before any in-law comes in, or like we know it's a relationship series to consider even before we get married and know whether it is going to be necessary to have an in-law over. sometimes it is the best to have an in-law over, and sometimes it is not. So let's go over and we'll see. Excuse me. All right. Now, the first point I put down when it comes to deciding whether in-laws should live with us or not is, don't be blackmailed into living with an in-law. Don't be blackmailed into living with an in-law. Phrases like, you don't care for my family, when you actually do. You've been helping the family, you've been supporting the family. When it comes to this issue, then the person says, you don't care for my family. Another phrase is, if it was your mother or father or sibling, wouldn't you do it? That's a blackmailing phrase. Another phrase is, I know you don't like my family. Another phrase is, it's just for a little while. Another phrase is, either they come or I go, where you are being forced to choose. And another phrase, those are the phrases. So mostly you would hear phrases like that when it's going to blackmail you into forcing you to live with an in-law when you have not decided whether you want to or not. These phrases are supposed to force your hand, or speed up your thought process for the people to come. It's not giving you a choice. It's just saying that they must come. And some of these phrases are, like let me repeat them, I know you don't care for my family. If it was your mother or father or sibling, wouldn't you do it? I know you don't like for my family. It's just for a little while. Either they come or I go. You see, they are all blackmail. They walk away and stand your ground until your partner is ready to address the issue in a matured way. So until your partner is ready to sit down and have a good talk as to why the person is coming, whether you people will be accepting the person, how long the person, all those things. If the person is just using blackmailing phrases and trying to get you to bring the person over, walk away and tell the person that we need to talk about this properly before we go ahead and let the person come, or decide for the person not to come. Give pros and cons, reasons and non-reasons and all that. So don't be blackmailed into living with an in-law, no matter who the in-law is, and no matter what the circumstance is. Do not be blackmailed into living with an in-law. Most of the time, there are other siblings that are in a more comfortable position that can take them, but they are choosing not to. You see, so you don't be forced to live with an in-law when you are not ready to live with an in-law. Now, number 2 is, don't start what you cannot finish. Most people do this. Don't start what you can't finish. Rita says, hello dear, I lived with my in-law for 6 years when she had a leg fracture. Wow, you did well. I don't know what the story is, but you did well. So let's continue and see if all those things were within the reason why you chose to live with her for 6 years. All right, don't start what you can't finish is point number 2. Taking care of in-laws, school fees, rent, etc. is not your duty, and you should not allow it to be pushed on you. You must be allowed to do it of your own free will and must not feel guilty if you choose to stop. I see a lot of young men and women who are not yet married doing things they shouldn't do in the bid to try and win over their in-laws. Now, once you've started it, you need to finish it. So you were going out with your daughter and you were always giving them chop money every month. You are doing that because you want them to approve of you. So when you get married, don't try and stop it. You've started something and you must continue it. If you are not ready to continue it, please don't start. It does not mean that don't give them gifts or whatever, but don't let them get used to it and then want to stop. Then you would have been causing the problem. Hello, sir, welcome. You would have been causing, Jojo, welcome. You would have been causing the problem. Some ladies go to their in-laws' house to cook, to sweep, to do all kinds of servitude, just so that they can be accepted by the in-laws. But remember that if you start something, you have to finish it. So if you're not ready to finish, don't start. Don't start. Don't start giving things, don't start providing services you cannot carry on for a long time to your in-laws. Now, number 3. This is a very delicate issue, and I would like people to pay particular attention to what I'm coming to say. Stop playing advocate between in-laws and their children. Stop it. Some in-laws blackmail partners into collecting stuff their children said no to. This is not your job. Walk away. Unless your partner is being overly unreasonable. Your in-laws will not like you better or worse if you play that part. So some mother-in-laws, some father-in-laws know that you are looking for their approval. And so they'll go to their children and their children will say, no, that way there, I won't do. Mommy, I'm not getting this for me. Then the mother will come to you, the other partner, whether it's male or female, and begin to complain and begin to cry. Now, because you want to win over the in-law, you go and convince your partner. You don't listen to your partner's side of the story. You don't know why they are saying no. You don't know anything. You just go and say, oh, but if you give it to her, what will happen? If you don't give it to her, me too, I won't talk to you. Then you do all those things. That is not your job. They were mother and son, mother and daughter, father and son, father and daughter before you came. They were living like that and there was no problem. Don't play advocate between a parent and their child in the bid to be accepted by the parent. It is a very, very subtle trap you are falling into. What will happen is the day you are not able to convince their child to do what they want, you will be in a big problem. You will be blamed for a whole lot of things. Don't play advocate. If the parent comes to complain to you, politely need to tell the parent that when they I will support you. Whatever you people decide, I will be behind you. But don't become the lawyer between the parent and their child in a bid to be accepted by the parent. If I'm able to convince my beloved male or female to do this or this for me, this woman who has been giving me the cold shoulder, this man who has been giving me the cold shoulder will now accept me. It is not true. They are doing it for the benefit of what they want at that moment, you know. And so after they've got it, that's it. That's the truth. Like I said, unless your partner is being overly unreasonable, there is no need for you to play advocate between them. A lot of ladies do this. Ladies are the culprit to this a lot. They talk to their husband, and then give it to him, her, and all that. But the man probably knows that if I start with my mother, we won't finish. But you are encouraging it, then tomorrow you are upset. Everything she's asking, you started it. So don't play advocate. Try as much as possible not to play advocate between them. Let them settle their issues and support what they decide to agree on. All right, now, number 4. Before any in-law visits, whether it is a long visit or a short visit, they must give enough notice. Do not permit in-laws to just walk into the house at any time that they like, whenever they feel like it. No. They must give enough notice. You run on a budget in your house, and that budget may not have included them at that point. And even though you will not show it to them, they are going to put a strain on your budget. That's number 1. Number 2, if they visit at odd hours, when you people are having marital quarrels and all that, it's going to compound the problem. Because older in-laws are able to read in between the lines and see that there's something wrong. So if you let them come in at that point, it can compound the problem. However, whatever the circumstance is, they must give enough notice before they show up. Mother, father, siblings, cousins, nieces, nephews, uncles, aunts must give enough time before they show up. And when they are coming on a visit. They must have their toothbrush, their towels, their sponges, and clothes that they will wear. This thing I'm saying looks like a very simple thing, but some in-laws come there and expect that they will share the towels and sponges, or that they will automatically have access to some, whether they come with some or not. So make sure that whoever is coming, whether it's from the male side or from the female side, whoever is coming has given ample notice, at least a month, 2 weeks to a month notice, that I will be arriving on this day, so that we can prepare very well for your arrival. They cannot just appear. There must be a proper conversation between the spouses before the in-law comes. Hello, Barbara, welcome. Number 1, These are the things you must consider, and these are the things you must talk about as a couple before the in-law shows up at your doorstep. Number one, how long are they staying? This is one of the most important things that we must talk about before any in-law comes. Please, do we get it? So, like Rita said, she had her in-law for 6 years. I don't know if they discussed, you see, because in the bid to quickly solve an issue, you can easily quickly take a decision. Say, oh, right now she's in Kumasi or she's in Accra, and we are there and she's closer to us, so let's just bring her home. Excuse me, just to solve the issue. But once you've solved that issue, you must now sit, even when she's in the house, you must now take a seat and say, okay, she's here now, he's here now, but how long are we intending to have this person stay over? You see, because the Bible says they shall leave their mother and their father and cleave. So, if you have in-laws, especially ones that are not helping, staying over too long, they defeat that whole purpose. So the first thing you two must talk about is, how long are they staying? If it's a parent, for how long are they visiting? If it's a cousin or it's a younger sibling who is going to go to school or whatever, how long is the school? Is the person going to be here for all the school? Does it include holidays? When the person is done with school after 4 or 5 years, where's the person going? All those things are very important. You must talk about them. The second thing is, what are their boundaries? Remember that this is all under point 4. Before any in-law visits, these are things that you must sit down and address. How, we've said the first thing is how long are they staying? The second is, what are their boundaries? What are their boundaries? Some in-laws come into their sibling's house, their daughter or son's house, whatever, whoever's side they are from, and forget that they are visiting, and begin to take matters into their own hands. You wake up and find out that the mother-in-law is in the kitchen cooking because she assumes that she's in her son's house or her daughter's house, and so cooking is normal. She must be able to cook. So you must put up boundaries. That when they come, these are the things they are allowed to do. These are the things they are not allowed to do. Sometimes you go and bring a younger sibling, excuse me, a younger sibling into the house, and the person eats what they like, how they like, when they like. They don't ask for permission for anything. Excuse me. They don't ask, I have a cold. They don't ask for permission for anything. They do it how they like, when they like. They bring in their friends. They make calls on top of their voice. No, what are the boundaries? Before the person gets there, you must ask, what are their boundaries? Alright, the next thing you must discuss is, why are they coming? In Rita's case, it was because the in-law was sick, had fractured their knee or their leg, you know. So what is the reason? Why are they coming? Some are coming to continue schooling. If it's schooling, is it going to be a boarding house or a day school? What are the pros and cons for both? If it is to help with the children, what are the pros and cons of both? If it is that they are going to just live with you as your own child, what are the pros and cons? So why are they coming? Because some in-laws just get up and want to come and see how you are doing. There's no particular reason why they are coming. And they are just coming. And that may cause a whole lot of problems, you see. Sarah, welcome. Okay. Now, the next thing to consider is, when they are leaving, what gifts do we intend to give, if any? Mostly when people come to stay with us and it's their time to go, they want something from us. I don't know why. Seriously, if you ask me, I don't know why. You've been eating free, sleeping free, drinking free, enjoying everything we are, DSTV, everything you enjoy. I don't know why they want gifts again. But then, well, we need to give them gifts, especially if it is an in-law, a mother or father-in-law, you know. So you have to discuss, if they come and when they are leaving, what gifts are we giving to them, if we intend to give any gifts to them at all. The other question to ask is, are they coming with an additional person? Are they coming with an additional? Please, let's note these points. They are very important points. They could solve a whole lot of issues. Most in-laws come, oh, Mabel, I'm coming. I'll be there in a week. When they arrive, they have 2 additional people with them. If they don't tell you they are coming with anybody and they arrive with somebody, seriously, you should be able to ask them to leave, because, like I said, there's a budget in the house. And even though it will make you look like, so sorry, I have a cold. Even though it will make you look like you are working within a budget, you know. So sometimes I actually saw some of my parents' relatives come. Oh, we are coming, we'll be coming by Friday. And one of them arrived and had 4 children with her. The annoying aspect of it is those 4 children were not her children. They were not her children. They just said they want to come with her to see Accra. And she brought all of them along. That's the most annoying aspect. You see? Are they coming with somebody? And do you approve them coming with somebody? If not, you need to tell them, no, please come alone this time. Next time, if we are able to accommodate the other person, we'll let you know so that you can bring the other person. Alright. Now, the other thing to address is, if the in-law is younger, what will be their chores and dress code? What will be their chores and dress code? So if you have a younger sibling coming, do not expect the younger sibling to come and sit and be served by your husband or your wife. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's completely wrong. I've taken a drug, so it's getting rid of all the things. Sorry. So if the person is younger, if the in-law that is coming is younger, you must let them know what their chores are and what their dress code is. Your siblings or younger in-laws cannot come there and sit that and wear anything they like. Very short things, very shabby things, very funny things they are wearing. They talk on top of their voices on the phone. You are calling them, they are on the phone. They are in their room. They don't come out to help. But when it's time to eat, they come out. No. If you are a younger sibling and you arrive, we tell you, you sweep here. You do all the dishes, you wash. All the sweeping, you sweep. All the cleaning, you do. So always let younger in-laws know what their chores are, what their dress code is, what they want, what they are allowed to do, what they are not allowed to do. And neither of the partners should be angry at that. If not, that sibling or that in-law, the younger one, should not come. Don't be angry. You are talking to them this way. Me, my younger in-law, my in-laws, my people don't come to my house because my husband is nicer to them than me. Why are you in the house? You are younger, then I'm sweeping. Then when I finish, I'll cook, then you eat. I don't understand. No. You wash clothes, you sweep, you cook, you do everything. You see. So don't encourage younger siblings to come and think that I'm in my brother's house, I'm in my sister's house, so I do whatever I like, however I like, whenever I like. No. They have chores. They have dress codes. If they cannot abide by them, they should not come. Another thing to address, most men take this for granted, but please don't, is the kitchen out of bounds or open to all? Is your wife comfortable with anybody at all entering her kitchen to just start cooking? It looks like a very trivial issue, but it is not, because every woman has the way they cook and how they arrange their saucepans, how they put their things together. So not just anybody can walk in and start cooking and doing things. So you must ask, can they come or they are not allowed? And who will cook? Some mother-in-laws, some aunties, some cousins assume that I am here, I want to cook. I know what food he likes. I know what food my daughter enjoys. I'm very good at jollof rice. I like it this way. Some too will not cook. But while you are cooking, they are in there and say, hey, what is that you are putting in the pot? Hey. And number 4, we are eating things. What is that? We didn't used to cook with all these things. You see how strong my son is? You see that's why my daughter's skin is powerful. Because we didn't used to eat. No. It is not your mother's kitchen. It is not your auntie's kitchen. It is not your niece's kitchen, it is your wife's kitchen. And if she does not want anybody in there, they should not be in there. They should not be in there. Alright. The next thing to address is, what are the limits to boundaries being crossed, and what are the consequences? So when you've set all those boundaries, you've agreed to them. What limits can we have? We agree to 1, 2, 3, 4. If this in-law crosses to 5, we can overlook, but 6 we cannot overlook. And what are the consequences of that? So I told my mother to make sure that she should ask my wife before she does anything in the kitchen. Your mother says she cannot ask your wife, she's older than your wife, she cannot ask your wife questions. What's the meaning of that? And then she crosses, goes to cook. Number 1, you people didn't say it. Then number 2, now when your wife is cooking, there should be consequences. You know, Mom, no, you cannot go into that kitchen again. It is my wife's kitchen. And if you cannot live without going to a kitchen, then I'm sorry, we are going to have to call end this visit. Because it is your wife's kitchen, not your mother's kitchen. She can't come and take over. I remember there was a couple who, the man's mother-in-law was a very nice woman. But when the time she came, she wanted to cook. And I advised the young lady that, no, I don't agree. Even though your mother-in-law is a very good woman, it is better you do the cooking and let her eat, except you are sick or you just put to bed or something, you just had a baby. But if not, it's better for you to cook, even out of respect, cook and give to her to eat. It was not listened to. One day, they were having a ceremony in the house, and the lady was in the lady's parents' house, and she was giving orders. And the woman was saying, no, don't do this way. When the woman gives an order, the lady gives an order, excuse me, the mother-in-law will counteract. So the lady said, oh, ma, please, let me show them what to do. Since I don't, oh, stop. When I come to your house, am I not the one who cooks? If you know how to cook, will I be cooking? She came to tell me, she said, you said it to her. I said, yes. So, who will cook? Is it your mother, or is it your wife who will cook, or whoever it is that came? Also, the next thing that we must also consider is, can they have visitors? You see, what we must let in-laws know is that they are visiting. Even if they are staying there for 10 years, they will not be there forever, so they are visiting. So they cannot take things into their own hands. You and your wife or your husband are sitting down, then you just see that your younger sibling, your younger in-law has walked in with one of her friends. They've come to sit at the dining table. She has opened your fridge, served juice, served meat pie, and they've gone into her room. It's wrong. Or his room. It's wrong. So one of the things we must discuss is, as they are coming, can they have visitors? Are the visitors allowed in the house? These are things you must discuss even before the in-law gets there. So that when they get there, you can sit down and have a tete-a-tete. Of course, if it is an older in-law, I'm not expecting you to call your husband or your wife and sit there with the person. No. I'm expecting you to appeal to the older person and tell the person that these are the things we do here. We would really love if they be done that way. Another thing you must consider is, are we allowed to address issues by ourselves or together? Or, I refer. What I mean by this is, if something happens while the in-law is around, am I as the wife or the husband allowed to call the in-law and sort it out? Or would you prefer that we both sat down and spoke to the in-law? Or would you prefer that you did it yourself? In all these cases, if you eventually say that, okay, I'll handle it myself, make sure that you have handled it. You see? So, are you allowed to address issues by us? Are we allowed to address issues by ourselves? Or we want to do it together? Or we want to do it individually? These are the things you must ask. So all these are just under point 4, which are some of the things you must do before, some of the things you must sit down and talk about and address before the in-laws come to live with you. Now, number 5 point for living with in-laws is be patient. Be patient. They are all from different backgrounds. They don't cook how you cook. They don't sleep how you sleep. They don't do the things you do, but they are your in-laws. So be patient with them. They are living with you for the first time. You are also living with them for the first time. So there are, of course, a few toes will be stepped on. But there's nothing patience cannot cure. With time, they will ease into you and you will ease into them. And it will be a beautiful thing to live with them. So be patient. And you see that with time, you people understand each other better and live with each other better. All right. Julia says, I have witnessed one. She said, me dear, I love fufu, Papa. I need to pound my fufu every day. The next day, she ordered a small pestle so she can be doing her own fufu pounding each every day. No, that's wrong. I'm sorry, but it's wrong. No. She cannot order her own things and come. Let me give you a very practical example. Something that I experienced myself. Now, when I was getting married, I was determined to make sure that I will not piss off my in-laws, but I will also not compromise anything that will put me at a disadvantage. I remember we moved into a city and my mother-in-law came to visit us. And when she was coming, she had a few things with her. So me, I assumed that she had grandchildren at that point. So I assumed she was bringing things for her grandchildren or whatever. She had her clothes and all that. But then I heard my husband talking on top of his voice. I went to find out that, oh, when she was coming, she had brought rice. She had brought pepper. She had brought all kinds of things. And the assumption was that she was bringing it to give to us. But she said no, she was bringing it so that she would cook for herself. And her son was upset because does it mean that we're coming to starve her? And I said you should be patient. Now I'm like that with her. So I said, but ma, you brought all this food. You didn't bring saucepan that you are coming to cook and fire. Then she started laughing. I was not going to give her my saucepan and fire to cook. What I cook is what she was going to eat. And that settled the issue. It hasn't happened again. So no, she cannot bring in her own things and begin to cook. No. It should not be allowed on any level. At all. What you cook is what you eat. If she wants to live apart from you and do what she likes, then she should not be there. She should just stay where she is and do all she wants to do. That's why she's the mistress of her home. And the wife is the mistress of her home. Do not be distant and moody. Some of us, when our in-laws come to visit, that is when we choose to become introverts. We don't talk to anybody, we don't relate to anybody. Suddenly we have all kinds of studies we should do, we have to learn, we have to visit this person. We are moving all around. We are distant and moody. It's like you have come to worry me, I don't want you here. But that's also not nice. Like I said in the beginning, some don't want to come home. Some don't want to come, but circumstances have forced them to come. So if they come and you are also distant and moody, it makes it difficult for them to relate. So let's not be distant and moody when we are living with in-laws. Number 7 is, do not rebuke your partner in front of your in-law. Under no circumstance should that happen. No matter what it is. Wait until you both are alone. Then you address whatever issue it is. But don't be shouting at your in-law. Don't be addressing and saying things about your partner or angrily in front of your in-law. It will cause disrespect to your partner and to yourself because you chose that partner. So if that partner is not good, it means you didn't choose well. And that will be the message that you are sending to the person who came to visit. So let's make sure that we are choosing our words well. And if there's something we need to discuss, something that out of our discomfort that we need to discuss, then remember to wait until you are both alone. Then you discuss it. Please put up your questions and your contributions. Today's session is quite short, so we'll be ending very, very, very soon. So put up your questions and your contributions and we'll address them. A lot of people wanted to watch the in-law thing, so I'm sure you have a lot of questions. Please ask them. All right. Number 8 says, in-laws should not break rules children have in the house if there are any. Excuse me. In-laws should not break rules children have in the house if there are any. So for example, their grandmother has come. The children sleep at 8 o'clock. But then she's complaining. So as I've come to, should they sleep at 8 o'clock? Yes. I've come, they should eat toffee. Anytime they want to eat toffee, they should buy toffee and hide toffee and be giving it to the children. No. So in-laws should not come and be breaking rules that have been set for children in the house. Rather, they should help to enhance the rules and make sure that the rules apply. So if you see any in-law trying to do that, you need to call the person to the side quickly and address the issue, and also talk to your children as well. So if there are children in the house, in-laws should not break the rules that have been set for those children. You know. All right. Number 9. Do not discuss your partner with your younger sibling, niece, cousin, auntie. Don't. First of all, your younger sibling is not old enough to understand what you're going through. Your niece, cousin, auntie are extended family and may not be able to catch what they should. Walking Reina, welcome. I mentioned your name in the beginning of the video, so if you watch, you will see. So do not discuss your partner with your younger sibling or your extended family. No. In the other video, I said that sometimes you can talk to your parents because they are older. Especially, I said if they are objective and spiritually matured enough, you can talk to them. You know, but don't discuss with your younger sibling or other people. No, don't do that. Especially when they are living with you and they are in the house. Now, number 10 says, all rules apply to all in-laws. Everything we have discussed here applies to all in-laws, not just the parent, the man's side, not just the woman's side. Every side, it applies to every side. If the man's people want to come, these rules apply. If the woman's people want to come, these rules apply. Some women will not apply some of the rules when it comes to their family. Some men will not apply some of the rules when it comes to their family. But you must make sure all these rules apply to every person who is coming from whichever side they are coming. All right, Barbara. I see your question now. Barbara says, what if your in-law comes to visit and she and your husband speak a language you don't understand? You have actually told your husband he should try speak a common language, but he keeps speaking the language you don't understand. Should you be in the same area or distance yourself? All right. First of all, you must know that if you do not have the same language that your husband has, the likelihood for them to speak that language is big. It's not because they are trying to gossip about you or anything, but people are more comfortable speaking in their own language than in another person's language. Especially if it's been a long time they've seen each other, they really want to talk in their own language. There are certain things they feel if they say in their language will make more impact and make it more understandable. That's the first thing you must understand. However, if your husband, your wife feels that they would prefer to speak in their language, then there will be no need for you to sit there, because then practically you are not in the conversation and you do not understand what they are saying. So then there is no need for you to sit there. You can go do something else while they discuss, while they talk, until they are done. However, they cannot also speak that language for all the period that they are there. Then it means that they are deliberately leaving you out of the conversation. And that one, there's something to be worried about, because they came to visit both of you. So they should not be discussing things in a language that you cannot understand. Yes, sometimes they can speak their language, and that's fine. You shouldn't be upset with that. But it should not be all the time that they are there at all. Any more questions? Now the last one is that you must pray. When your in-laws decide to visit, you must pray. Lord, for whatever reason they are coming, let it be a good reason and may it be accomplished. If it is a bad reason, let them not come. You know I say it as it is. I don't mince words. Because some in-laws will come and all they are coming to do is cause trouble and create more problems and break up the marriage. Some too will come and by the time they go, the marriage is stronger. There's more love in it. They bind you together. Those are the kind of in-laws that we like. So these are the points. That's all for today actually. If there are no questions or contributions, we'll be closing. We are closing quite early because we've already talked about in-laws previously. So this was just living with the in-laws, living with them, learning how to live with them, and preparing to live with them even before they get here, get to your house, get to wherever they're coming to join you. So those are the things we talked about today. Any questions apart from Barbara's question? Any questions? So my flower, nobody's commenting about my flower. Haven't you seen my flowers? Ah, did you say anything about my lovely flowers? Alright, okay, Rima, say something about my flowers. Say something about my flowers, ladies and gentlemen. Say something. So let's remember that living with in-laws is not easy, but it can be very, very rewarding. It's not easy because you are from different backgrounds and expectations are high. Let me also say, my 5-year-old son is putting pressure on me to type. William is also watching with you. He sends his warmest regards. Hi, William. Thank you for watching. Oh, William loves my flowers. Thank you, William. Thank you for watching, William. I hope you are learning a lot. God bless you. We love having you, William. You are the star of the day, William. You are the star of Reina Speaks today. Everybody, let's clap for William. Let's clap for William today for joining us on Reina Speaks. A big round of applause for Williams. Williams, look, I'm dancing for you. Baba, you're actually coming for the mate. Alright. Thank you, Rita. Thank you. Trustina says, what should one do when you are always forced to speak your partner's language, even if you don't understand it? You see, I said it in the beginning. Don't be forced to do something that you don't know how to do genuinely. You don't know how to speak their language. You cannot force and speak. How do you speak a language that you don't understand? I know that sometimes they do, like me, I'm married to an Ewe man. So what they do is, welcome Julia. Thank you, Christina. Thank you, Wakirima. Thank you, Barbara. Thank you, Sarah. So normally what my Ewe in-laws do is that when they come, they'll say I should say weso, which means welcome, and then they'll respond. But that's all. They are not forcing me to speak the language. They are just little things. They'll say, oh, say good morning like this. Say those ones are me. I take those ones as normal. You see, but not that I must force and learn the language. I'm too old to learn languages. I always tell my husband, teach the children. If you teach them, it will be easy for me to learn it. But I'm not forced to speak. They just those little. As for those little ones, it happens everywhere. Ways or something, just something. But those ones are normal. But if you get to a point where they are insisting that you learn the language and speak it, that one there is wrong. It's wrong. They knew you were not their countrywoman before you married them. They knew you were not their countryman before you married them. So they should not be expecting you to learn the language because you married somebody for 2 years, 3 years, 10 years. No. That's not your language. That's not where you are from. So you should politely ask your partner to ask them to stop if it's worrying you or you are offended by it. You call the person to the side and say, please make sure that they don't do that. I cannot speak the language and I don't intend to learn it. That's all. Walking remember, my flower is nice. It's nice. Say it's nice. Yes, Eja Force, my dear. What is needed is the love. So you don't have to speak the language like I'm saying. Sarah Nanaya, welcome. You don't have to speak it at all. Anita, welcome. Justina says sometimes when they go deep, I reply with my own mother tongue to settle the score. Exactly. Let's all speak our language, like the Tower of Babel, where everybody was confused and we didn't know. Nobody knew what the next person was saying. Let's see if it will work. So nobody should force you to speak their language. I mean, especially if you can't speak it genuinely. Nobody should force you to speak their language at all. Are there any more questions or contributions? If not, we are about to close. Any more questions or contributions? If not, I'll be closing very soon. They have a cold, so it's making it difficult for me to talk. was able to make impact, I hope. And now we know how to live with our in-laws better, or what to consider when our in-laws are going to be coming to us. Yes, Lucy, you're a bit late, but you can watch the replay, don't worry. You can always go back to the page, watch and leave your comments and questions, and I always come back to check on them, that's all. Susie, thank you, Wakirema. Now, I want to say a very big thank you to all the people who have been inviting more and more people to join our group. I am so excited. Very soon, I'm sure we'll clock 1,000. And then we'll clock global, 1 million viewers. And that'll be fine. Please don't forget to also follow our Reina Speaks 8 page on Instagram. Reina Speaks 8. And also Reina Speaks on YouTube. We always post the videos there. And we'll be doing more plays very soon. Those actors, some of them are in school and all that, so we'll put ourselves together and do another play very, very soon. Don't worry. But I must say that I'm always grateful that you watch. I'm always grateful that you join me, you comment, you ask questions. I'm so grateful. God bless you so much for you wanting to listen to me, for helping me, for being there. I am so grateful. God bless you. There's a part I like in the song, so I want you to listen to it. I want you to listen to that. Father, you found me. Listen. That's a good. Thank you so much for watching Reina Speaks. God bless you. Have a lovely, lovely, lovely night and a lovely weekend. God bless you. Don't forget to like, to share, to comment, and to subscribe. God bless you. Lucy, dance some more. Cry, cha cha moko belly tamamo. Banani, banani, cha cha moko belly tamamo. Banani, banani. Good night. God bless you. Bye.
He will make my feet like the deer's feet, and he will make me walk on higher mountains. A highway shall be there, and it shall be called the way of holiness. Hallelujah.